it's safe to say that this offseason has been pretty crazy. Yeah. You talk about the trade for Deshaun Watson. You talk about the trade. I'm starting to sound like Toby Keith over here. You talk about the trade for a guy in Matt Ryan. And obviously also Devontae Adams, the signing of Chandler Jones. There's so many things that go into this offseason that's made it wild. But particularly the trade for a guy like Matt Ryan for 1 third-round pick. I mean, I think this could be one of the most underrated trades in the entire league. Because, listen, I need to start by saying I know that Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, is not the quarterback of old. He's not. He's not the quarterback that led the Atlanta Falcons to the playoffs a couple of years ago and almost a win in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. He's not the Matt Ryan that, threw 35 touchdowns a year, whatever it was. He's not the Matt Ryan that was a former first-round draft pick and that was a guy that you could build the rest of your franchise around. He's not that guy. But I think he's good enough, especially with where the Colts are as a team and as a franchise, that I think he can get the job done. I think he can absolutely get it done with the Indianapolis Colts. And I think he could be one of those guys that really is the missing piece. Now, the question now is, what separates this man from a guy like Carson Wentz and a guy like Phillip Rivers? I think it's simple. He has shown us that he is talented enough, that he is good enough to be able to bring his team over the top. He's good enough to bring his team to the promised land. And we can't say that for a guy like Phillip Rivers. We can't say that for a guy like Carson Wentz, who, if we're being real, probably was going to lead the Eagles to the Super Bowl over my Vikings. We understand all that. But he did. The fact of the matter is he got injured. Nick Foles did it, and there it is what it is, and now he's at the Commanders at this point. But we have seen it from a guy like Matt Ryan. He can lead a team, especially when the game is on the line. And I think he can still continue to do that for the Colts. At this point, I think there's 2 reasons that you have to like this trade for Matt Ryan. Number one, I think he's a guy that can still get it done. Again, not going to be the guy that throws 35 touchdowns, but that can be very, very effective in the right scheme with the right defense. He's got a running game with Taylor as well. So, I think there's a lot of different things to take away. The second reason is, I think this could be a great bridge quarterback because I know you got Sam Ehlinger, you got some options in the draft. This should absolutely not preclude the Indianapolis Colts from selecting a quarterback in this year's draft or next year's draft for that matter, wherever they feel most comfortable. But overall, I think this was a win-win, especially for only a 3rd-round pick. And at the end of the day, they did get 2/3 for Carson Wentz, so they kind of, were able to kind of, sell for a little bit low. And I think they could continue to look at other positions in the draft that they could address that could put this team the rest of the space over the top. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, I think the Colts are in a very unique position here. I think, right now you've got Matt Ryan who's going to come in and start for you at quarterback. The question now becomes, again, I know people in the comment section are going to say, what separates him? Why, he's not he's not that. But, the Colts have a 2nd-round pick. And I believe they can do a lot of good things with it. Now, what do they want to do with it? Who falls to them? I think that obviously is the biggest portion of it. But overall, the Colts are a team that don't have as a lot of other needs like the rest of these teams do. But I'm excited. I full-heartedly believe, that Matt Ryan is the guy that could bring him to that place where they can get to that Super Bowl. I think he is that guy because, he did it with the Falcons, who, if we put these 2 teams up side by side, it's similar. It's eerily similar. Like, you've got a good defensive team. You've also got a good running back that can run the football and take over when you need him to. So, I would obviously give the nod to Thomas in that regard. But, depending on how the first round shifts out for the Colts, who have obviously got to need a quarterback, a wide receiver, tackle, D-line. Quarterback, in particular, if you want to, the question now remains if they want to win with a guy like Matt Ryan, do they want to win now or do they want to just use him as a bridge quarterback? Because if there's 2 different scenarios here. If they want to win now, you use that 42 to select a wide receiver, tackle, D lineman. I think off the top of my head, even though wide receiver, this is a deep wide receiver class. You can still get a guy in the 3rd round. You also could get a guy at tackle. But there's a lot of different things that could happen. Overall, you could bring in Abram Lucas to start for you. That really is what it comes down to. But overall, this is a very interesting draft. And I feel like they could fill any of those other needs other than quarterback with 42. Also 73 they've got as well. There's a lot of different things they could do there. Defensive line, some guys they could bring in there. So, and plus free agency isn't done yet. But all in all, it's going to be really interesting. Or they could draft their future quarterback, of the future quarterback of the future. Great job, Colton. But overall, there's a lot of different things they could do, and there's a lot of people that need to wake up to the fact that Matt Ryan can still get it done with the Indianapolis Colts. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten, and continue to get you guys that are truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com, or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about Matt Ryan, who could potentially still get it done with the Indianapolis Colts.